The Sisters is the opening story in James Joyce's 1914 short story collection, Dubliners, widely regarded as a landmark in 20th century short fiction. Joyce, whose relationship with his native Ireland was fraught and complex, treats the city of Dublin, the collection's primary setting, as a character in its own right. The stories in Dubliners are interconnected, with recurring characters and overlapping locales, yet each story is carefully constructed to stand independently. The Sisters is set in 1895, while most stories in the collection take place around the turn of the century, slightly preceding the book's publication. The stories were composed and revised between 1902 and 1914, culminating in the release of Dubliners. The Sisters initially appeared in the Irish Homestead in 1904 and was substantially revised for its inclusion in the collection. Throughout his career, Joyce became known for pioneering modernist techniques, marked by experimental narrative forms and a deliberate break from traditional literary conventions. His final work, Finnegan's Wake, 1939, stands as one of English literature's most daringly experimental texts. By contrast, Dubliners is comparatively realistic, but already contains key modernist elements, including free, indirect discourse and early instances of stream of consciousness, which Joyce would refine throughout his oeuvre. The Sisters introduces central themes recurring in Dubliners, such as the unsettling representation of knowledge, the psychological weight of religious ritual, and layered motifs of paralysis, illness, and stasis. The story opens in 1895 with reflections on the imminent death of a paralyzed man following his third stroke. The narrator recounts walking past the man's house each night, checking to see if the interior light has changed from gaslight to candlelight, a signal that death has occurred. Later, the narrator dines with his aunt, uncle, and Mr. Cotter, who engage in a protracted conversation containing veiled remarks about the dying man. The narrator listens with mixed feelings, noting his dislike for Cotter, until his uncle announces that Father Flynn has died. A discussion follows between Cotter and the uncle, revealing that the narrator and Flynn had been close in the past, with Flynn serving as a mentor and teacher. Cotter and the uncle suggest that the narrator would have benefited from outdoor activity and companionship with children his own age, a remark that stirs his irritation. That night, the narrator struggles to sleep, attempting to avoid envisioning Flynn's face, which appears as if smiling while trying to confess something. The next morning, he observes the death notice posted outside Flynn's home and is struck by the finality of seeing it in print. Imagining what he might have done had Flynn been alive, he pictures offering him a gift of snuff. Lacking the courage to enter the house, he walks on, reflecting on Flynn's life and their previous discussions on Latin, history, and Catholic rites. These meditations dwell on the complexity of church institutions and the ritual of the Eucharist. That evening, the narrator and his aunt visit the house of mourning. Nanny, one of Flynn's sisters, welcomes them and guides them to view the body. They later meet Eliza, the other sister, and sit together over sherry while discussing Flynn's death. When the aunt inquires whether Flynn died peacefully, they are told he did, having accepted his fate beforehand. Eliza recounts that Father O'Rourke had performed the traditional Catholic last rites earlier in the week. Nanny, exhausted, makes little contribution, soon resting her head against a pillow. Eliza notes that both sisters were grateful for Flynn's last rites and kind to their brother. The conversation turns to changes noticed in Flynn before his death. Eliza remarks, "There was something queer coming over him latterly," and the two women agree that he had become a disappointed man whose life had been crossed. Eliza pauses, reflecting, and points to a broken chalice, a symbol of the Eucharist, as a turning point in Flynn's decline. Although the chalice was empty, she perceives this incident as a catalyst for his deteriorating mental state and eventual death. She elaborates, recalling an occasion when Flynn was required during the night but could not be found. Two priests discovered him alone in the dark confession box, laughing, concluding that something had gone wrong with him. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy this video, leave a like and subscribe.